Hey guys, welcome back and happy Wednesday. I thought it would be fun to do another craft roulette process video because I got a new stamp set and I'm kind of in the mood to color something, so I thought that would be kind of cool. And what are our parameters this week? Well, we have a 5x7 card to start with, spring colors, which shouldn't be difficult. And let me see, what else? We have something that starts with G. I went with galoshes because both of the little guys, and I don't know, I guess the dog's not wearing footwear, but the two happy guys are wearing footwear. And yeah, I thought that that would be pretty cool. And then the last one is outside the lines. I grabbed my metallic marker that I like. This is a Cricut marker, but I should look for. I'm sure a Sharpie works as well. I should look for like a fine sharp point Sharpie at some point. But anyway, I thought we could do a little doodling. So that's what we're doing here today. And if you like these card videos, I suggest that you like this video, comment below. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. There are a bunch of playlists of different card series I've done. So I'm just going to move this guy off to the side. Actually, I lied. I think I'm going to do the... I've really been liking this technique where you go in and you basically punch the two corners of all your layers, really, but mostly your bottom card. Whoops. Let's perhaps try that on a level surface. There we go, sort of. This top layer wasn't folded all the way down, so it's a little wonky, but it'll be fine. Anyway, I've been really enjoying that technique lately. So let us get our pattern paper cut. This is a 6x8, luckily. So I want to cut it just a 1/4 inch shy of 5 and then a 1/4 inch shy of 7. And it does leave us with some nice extra paper to use. This is the Cat Scrappiness Hop Into Easter pad, which I've been liking quite a bit. Since we're doing spring colors this week, I thought that this would be just perfect for that. Let me grab my corner guy and we can get these rounded off. So basically, like, you leave one side a little, you round one side and you don't round the other side. This will be, yeah, this will just give us a small border. I think I want some of this to show up, so let's see. I'll probably do, what would 1/2 inch? This is 4 3/4, so about 4 1/4 would be probably where I want to cut my white. So let's do that. Do 5x7 cards pretty rarely, but they do have the advantage of giving you a lot more working room. But I just want to kind of see how this looks. Yeah, this will give us more of a border. And then this guy, I need to take my arm out again. This guy is, yeah, 6 3/4, so this would be 6 1/4, I'm thinking. 6.5, 6 1/4. 6 1/4 is actually kind of tricky to cut on this particular paper trimmer, but I like that, so I think I'll round these as well. But that's about all the cutting we have to do. It's going to be, I don't know, I've been liking these cards lately that are sort of more colored than uh, cut into different elements. There we go. So I will grab a Misty. Somewhat funny, I'm actually, even after all the cards you're probably seeing me make. I've been sort of out of cards lately. Actually, I think I'll do a little blue on the top before we get too crazy. Just because I think it'll be, should be blue. Anyway, yeah, there we go. I just want to kind of get a nice, like I don't want to get a ton of color on here, but I do want to get sort of a nice sky ink blend going on. And typically what I like to do is, when I'm doing skies, I like the top to be the darkest, and then it sort of blends down. And the nice thing about these blending brushes, they kind of naturally make clouds, so then you don't really have to. At some point, I think I got a little bit of green on this, but this actually works because it gives you sort of a teal sky thing going on. Yeah, because that's my green brush that at some point I used with blue. So now we have a teal brush, hooray. But like this is sort of my blue brush, so if I go back in and I may add some more blue here just to make it a little more of a obvious sky. But I mean, I think that kind of works well because we're going for sort of a rain theme. And, you know, I think that that's sort of a stormy color. Both those colors are certainly very of this time of the year, at least in the upper Midwest. I don't know. Talking to one of my crafty friends in Texas, and they were saying how they were gonna basically go from, you know, what I would consider sort of a, I don't know, like, I guess not quite winter, but you know, something like that. You know, 30s to like 80s. So what I was thinking of doing was, so I'd have this guy off to the side and just have this umbrella sort of just flying out of his hand. Give some fun little movement. Plus we get to color it then. And then I really like this. It isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. I like that as a sentiment, so I thought I would pull that. Let's see if we can't figure out a way to. I kind of like that. I kind of like this conceptually, although there's not. Curious if we can, like, if we could stamp a puddle. I kind of want to do this and then have him in the puddle. You know, sort of like that. Maybe not. I feel like we could use some of the. I think I'll put the puddle away. Well, we could like use some of the metallic markers around the to sort of do little movement lines around the umbrella. So I'm liking this quite a bit. There's sort of this extra area here. I don't know how I feel about this extra area because I could do something more like that. And it helps if I put the sentiment on the right way, but I kind of like this, and then you could do like drips maybe to do sort of the outside the lines element. I kind of like that. So I think we'll go with that. And then, yeah, that's pretty straight on. And I want to color this with some of my markers. So I think I'll go with Memento today. Memento almost always seems to need a couple inkings, so I really do like the Misties for this kind of an idea. And coloring, I feel like, also sort of makes it like, even if you don't perfectly do this, still pretty good. Actually, we could do silver lines around the sentiment. That's kind of a fun idea. Maybe we'll do that. Or do lines around his feet. I kind of like that. It's sort of like, if rather than having a puddle, we could just do like that kind of, we could just sort of, we can make our own puddle, which is outside the lines. So parameter there is good. And really all we need to do is color this. Maybe I actually have this nice blue. So maybe I'll do a little blue with the silver. It's just sort of freeform lines. Doesn't have to be perfect or anything. But anywho, we want to use fairly vibrant colors on this guy just because we're coloring over where we inked it, which, in retrospect, I'm not sure that was the smartest idea. It probably would have been better to do it a little bit differently. Let's see. What color? Purple umbrella? I think you might have a red umbrella. And the cool thing about these markers is they have this fine end, and then for like doing detail work, but then they've also got this brush end, which I'm going to use on this umbrella because it makes coloring these things in very chill. The brush end is a lot juicier, basically, so things color in very quickly. And I may grab my silver again, just to sort of accent this a little bit, to sort of bring that into here. And the memento ink is definitely not moving anywhere. So I've been using it a lot for alcohol ink coloring recently, and I'm a fan. I have not. I picked up some blackout from Ink on 3 as well, which I've tried with other things. I don't think I've tried it specifically with the alcohol inks yet. I definitely. It's kind of an interesting ink because it's supposed to be both Copic safe and waterproof, which is pretty neat. My assumption was that, like, I'm probably going to color his raincoat and galoshes sort of standard yellow because I like that as an idea. And we've got a deep yellow. Yeah, this is a pretty yellow red 3? 33. Um, and I've been just using a scrap piece of cardstock if I want to just double check how this works. Yeah, that looks like it's sort of a taxi cab color, so I think it will be perfect. Grab sort of a pale blue for his jeans. Then what I want is I can actually reach into my skin tone set and probably get a nice sort of pale pink. And I think we kind of want a brown for the hair just because yeah, this looks good. Okay, here we go. I think that I'm going to do a brown for the hair just to sort of stand out against the yellow. And I'm still curious if you guys like watching coloring or not. I kind of go both ways depending on my feeling of the particular day, which makes it a little, I don't know. I feel like long coloring sometimes gets sort of tedious, but like this kind of coloring can be a lot of fun to just sort of watch. Because I mean, I think like this is sort of uh, very sort of quick coloring. I really do like the Simon Hurley, his sketch style of stamp set. I know that he's got sort of the licensed images ones now as well, which I mean I think they bring something to the table too. But I kind of like the originals quite a bit. Actually, we can come back with our red here quick. And like this is a time when whoop the detail works because you can just sort of color in his tongue. And I can work on his jeans a little bit. This particular Uhuhu marker set too has some pretty vibrant colors, so I found a lot of my coloring comes out probably more vibrant than like it would if I was sort of left to my own devices. So I don't know. That's kind of also sort of fun and just sort of it's nice to sort of get outside your comfort zone. Like this. I think I have a more vibrant. Yeah, I think this is a more. This yellow is more vibrant. So I think I'll use this one to sort of do the insides. Like, because this would be sort of the inside of the hood. But then I'll use the really vibrant yellow for the rest of this. And I still haven't figured out how you know which end is brush and which isn't. There's probably like some way to know. Although the caps look almost identical, so maybe there isn't. You just sort of wing it. I actually have a new marker set to unbox. I'm really excited about because they're the Olo markers that have um, the liquid ink inside as opposed to using sort of a wick the way most markers do. So I am very curious to see how they feel. Because I didn't notice a major difference between the Uhuhus, which are a fairly economical marker, and there we go, coloring done. Looks very, very exciting. I think I'll go back and that's the wrong color. Red even. Go back and touch a couple areas here up. Well, we've colored outside the line, so oh well. It is a parameter, so you know. But then we have a pretty straightforward card to put together. Let me see if I can get a better punch on that, because that. Don't know why that. It sort of cut at a slightly weird angle. There we go. Still looks a little chewed up, but oh well. I'm sure whoever gets this will be happy with it nonetheless. I think, like as card makers, we get a little OCD about various things, but now this becomes a really easy card to put together because all we really need to do is do the adhesive. And I don't know, like every time I sort of let my ATG gun sit, it's like need to get some fresh adhesive out of, like whatever adhesive sort of sits around tends to, not sure if it dries out or what, but it doesn't really, it loses its stickiness. But anyway, this is going to be pretty tight in here, actually. There we go. But we have some definite spring colors going on, which was basically what I was going for. And then I like this pattern paper, but I especially like it sort of with our little friend. And this is the Classic Crest 110 pound. You get a little bit of bleed through, but really it's not particularly bad. I don't usually worry about putting anything down on my surface because it doesn't really like bleed through the other side or anything. And almost always I'm matting it on a different layer, so, that kind of means that it's not as big of a deal. Then I just sort of fold the sticky bits, if anything, sort of goes beyond that out. And then I'll just center this guy. And then he is down. We have a 5x7 project. We have spring colors, including blue, green, and all the stuff in the pattern paper, which includes pink as well, which plays off the umbrella pretty well. And we have a guy in his galoshes jumping in the puddle and throwing his umbrella with wild abandon. And then we just have outside the lines because we drew in a little puddle for our guy. So that's what we got for Craft Roulette this week. Thanks much and have a great rest of your day.